And we're back with some more Dyson Sphere project. And today we're going to start off by finishing off, this production chain. We want to get ourselves all of the little interstellar stuff up and running so that we can do proper transport. We want to make sure this is the last belt spaghetti we're dealing with. Well, okay, maybe not the last, but, at least we'll be on our way to doing things the right way. So, over here we've got our assembly machine Mark 1 and it's doing engines. The reason being, this is the last thing that requires electromagnetic turbines. These things here require them, but after that we can remove that from our little miniature production bus. Alright, on top of that though, we want to maybe put something right beside those engines that can utilize it like this. This is the actual logistics vessel that requires those engines. So we're just going to plop them right beside each other, and that should make this, a little simple self-contained nugget. This is where things are going to start to look a bit ugly. We've got to bring the processors over here along with some titanium, the titanium alloy and the engines. So we just sort of hodgepodged everything together. Yeah, this is going to be very much a hodgepodge from now on. I think the next thing though we're going to build is... where is it? Yes, we're going to build the planetary logistics systems, and we're going to build the interstellar logistics stations. Once we get those two done, we'll just have to finish off by doing those little planetary transport shuttles. Should be no problem at all. And we've brought in the steel and we've brought in the titanium. That just means we need the processors and the particle containers, which are actually already right here on the bus. So it should take 2 seconds to knock out. Done. Tucked in right beside the ships. The ships are stockpiling in there though. I'm not sure where we're going to stockpile these. I think... You know what, I don't think we're going to need that many, and I'm not sure how many it even stockpiles up to inside the machine. I think 10 in there should be fine. I'm more concerned about the interplanetary ones, which, let's face it, we're going to be using them more than we're using any of the others. The interstellar one is even simpler. It requires the titanium alloy, which we've already produced. Our production of it is pretty minuscule right now, but once we get enough of these towers produced, we can start mass producing things properly, as opposed to the sort of hodgepodge thing we've been going with. Alright, this should just take 2 seconds. All we need to really do is, put that together like that. And then the last things we need are the titanium and this, which, 2 seconds please. Finished. There we go, we've got the little purpley engine. What are these things called again? Particle containers in one side, and we've got the titanium alloy in the other. They'll get dumped in here. It's going to take a while though. It takes a lot of titanium alloy, and we have... we're going to be stockpiling 20 ships before that's even useful, and then we'll have to stockpile God knows how many of these, and then, oh wow, you can hold 5 of them in there? Can we take those out? Oh yes, we can. Yep, we'll just stick those back in, and we're going to limit this chest to just 1 stack. I think 1 stack of interstellar logistics stations should probably be get us started. That should be fine. That means the only thing we have left, we've gotten rid of that, all of those. We only have to produce... oh yeah, the logistics drones and the engines that go with them. These are actually pretty straightforward. Steel, copper, and over here we've got iron and processors. That's it. Steel, copper, iron, and processors. This we can just chuck onto the end of the belt, and we can finally get around to colonizing the stars properly. And there we have it. Just a simple, actually, copper and steel. These are pretty straightforward to make. And this one's here is just iron plated processors. All done, all in, and then that should get chucked into here. Boom. That will actually go quite quickly. However, over here we're still catching up. We need to remove some bottlenecks. You'll notice your engines are maxed out. Ships are actually starting to max out at last. And we're finally starting to max out on the planetary logistics stations. The required particle containers are not getting all to the engine. Are not getting to the engines yet. We're not making enough particle containers. Unfortunately, the engines were draining off some of these. It slowed everything down. But this thing's not meant to be running flat out. It's meant to just get us over get us the basics so that we can go out and planet colonize and really expand our production immensely. Now, one thing we do need to do is we need to crank up titanium production because we're not having enough oil coming through. So oil needs to be boosted, like a lot. So I think we'll just extend on these oil refineries just a little bit and boost production in the short term. Finally, after all of the effort that went into getting this, going to other planets, setting up those interplanetary or interstellar logistics stations, doing all that stuff, and we finally started producing them automatically. So we don't have to worry about this anymore. We can just come by and pick them up every so often. It's not going to produce them very quickly. Our main bottleneck, it seems, is these particle containers. They seem to take a very, very long time to produce, even though we've got 3 of them going, like, flat out. No, actually, they're not going flat out. We're short on electric motors. Oh, or was it electromagnetic turbines? Should have built an extra electromagnetic turbine place. Oh well, next time I'll know. Next time. Alright, but with all of that done, it's time to maybe iron out a few kinks in our production chain. If we check our research here, here we are. So science production is 50 across the board from last I checked. So yeah, we can produce about 50 on average. Let's find the bottleneck and start getting around to our next layer of science. What we really want to get our hands on now, well, we're going to let everything, of course, that we can research, we're going to research that as we can. But what we really want to get our hands on is warpers. This here is gravitational wave refraction, which, well, it allows us to warp gravity waves. It seems to do it by, I don't know, something to do with, yeah, encapsulated neutron stars. Neutron stars are very dense, it seems. Anyway, then we've got over here is the space warper. This requires one gravitational lens to produce, or one green science? I'm going to have to check up on that. Gravitational lenses, however, what do they require? They require what looks like a diamond and those green things from over here, these strange matter. Yeah, I think this is very doable. We're going to need a whole bunch of hydrogen to make these. The hydrogen we're going to have to get by doing, where is it? Gas giant exploitation. This should be able to net us a whole bunch of hydrogen. So I'm thinking we're going to be producing a few of these. Of course, I forgot to cover oil there. All we did with our oil setup was just curved it around the corner. As well as that, we tapped into another oil seep over there just so we could combine the two together. And done. Now, next up, we want to make that... Here we are, orbital collector. This orbital collector, though, requires a few fancy ingredients, some of which we don't have. Give me accumulators brackets full. It needs full accumulators as opposed to just regular old accumulators. To do that, we need to get our hands on an energy exchanger. So here's one I made earlier. All this is just for, well, for charging accumulators. So all we have to do is grab our uncharged accumulators and dump them in here, and they'll draw charge from the network and top them all up, popping them out the other side. We just need 20 of these. That's all we want. 20 full accumulators in our inventory, we can just go in and finally craft this sucker. Oh my god, was it 30 seconds? Excellent. Alright, let's go tap into a gas giant, shall we? I have been advised it's not possible to land on one of these, but let's see, can we build? How do we build on one of these suckers? Nope. Let me think about this for a minute, because I think this is going to take a second. That is so cool. We're actually in the atmosphere here, we're sort of hovering. That is... Okay, that's pretty baller. Anyway, we're... Time to build our little mining section. One second. Where is it even going to be located under? Orbital collector. Let's deploy you. Can only be built at the equator. Okay. I wonder if we can build more than one of these. I'm going to have to investigate that. When it comes to finding the equator, there's not really many clues. You just sort of just keep flying around until it shows up. When you hover over this section of it, it tells you. Right. So... You have built an orbital collector. That does look pretty cool. You can even see it sucking up the gas from the bottom. Okay, orbital collector is done. Can we stock this up with ships now is the question. Nope, it appears your ships have to come there and collect it. Actually, that's a good idea, because if you're going to have ships coming from interstellar distances, they're going to need warpers if they're coming from another system. Alright, so that does it. Oh wow, it also produces deuterium, but very slowly. Okay, so you get a percentage of deuterium out of this as well. That's nice. And I want to see if we can produce multiple ones of these. That would be nice, actually, if we could. If we can land multiple ones of these on the gas giant, that would be great. And a quick trip back to the planet to make some more of these. And yes, you can. You can have more than one of these on a planet. And they don't actually require power. They just produce hydrogen, and you can put them across the equator of a gas giant, which means we can probably squeeze quite a few of them on there. That's really useful. Well, for hydrogen production, yes. I kind of want to automate this process, because that is, like, to make these, we could probably going to need a few. I mean, just get the basic components, at least the accumulators, they're a pain to make otherwise. Let me think. I have been doing some thinking about what the next move is. The reason being, we sort of hit this crossroads where we've got access to warper technology, and do we keep developing this planet with the intention of staying here, or do we plan to go out amongst the stars? The reason I ask is because it's just to do with the warper itself. The warper requires a whole bunch of different resources, but one of them it requires, no matter what recipe you use, is sulfuric acid. So none of our planets really have all of the resources except our home one to make warpers on a consistent basis, which is not what we want. Our plan is, we want to basically find a good planet around a good sun that we're going to make a Dyson Sphere, and then we import all our raw resources there. But to do that, we need the space warpers so that the ships can travel between planets. So what we would sort of do is, just say we colonized here. We would then have everything in the surrounding area dragged in to help build up whatever we're trying to do, and we just pull in raw resources or something, get a nice planet, terraform it flat, and then just build it up like into a monster planet. But to do that, all of our ships would have to have warpers. So what I would like to do is have one planet dedicated towards the production of space warpers, and that would be its only purpose. So I'm thinking we manually make a few warpers and maybe go on a little bit of exploration. Let's find out what the universe has to offer. To make these space warpers, we're going to need, well, not much to be honest, just this strange matter. Strange matter is going to require some deuterium, so that's not too big of a deal. Well, it's an annoyance, but one we can deal with. All we need is, where is it? This fractionator. This fractionator allows us to rotate hydrogen through it, though for that I did have to manually handcraft a few of the high-speed belts, as in the level 3 belts, because we need the level 3 belts for that. These conveyor belt Mark 3s will be required for this, and you'll see why when we start to put it together. These are the fractionator plants. Now, these things are a bit dumb in that you just run hydrogen through it, just regular hydrogen, and it has a percentage chance of turning a small bit of it into deuterium, which is just sort of a heavier version of hydrogen, let's say. The great thing about it, though, is the faster it goes through, the faster the hydrogen goes through, the better the chances you have of getting it, or you're going to have more going through, which means you've got more chances every round, which means you want to use the highest speed belt you possibly can to do this stuff. And then once it gets to the end, we'll have it come out, and then we just rotate it all the way back around to the start. And done. Oh, right there. Then all we're going to do is just start siphoning hydrogen off this side of the line. It should realistically just be that simple. I probably should have made that a bit closer, shouldn't I? One moment. There we go. Plenty close for us to siphon some hydrogen off. We just need to keep topping it up. Once it's full, it shouldn't require that much to keep it going because of the low percentage chance of each one turning. So all we do then is we just have to, well, have an output for this. So we can just dump this all at the front. You know what, let's, we're going to need a storage bin, and you can go that way. Oh, damn it. Yeah, we'll bring it all the way down here, and we'll just dump it into a storage bin for now. And deuterium production, which we have totally overkilled. That's way, way, way more deuterium than we're ever going to possibly, well, we're going to need for a while anyway. Over here I just simplified the feed on of hydrogen. It's just literally one belt feeding on that way. That way it just keeps the line nice and tight and compressed, and we get one compressed belt of hydrogen going through. And we get you can see the actual gaps in it there as it passes by. Wow, that high-speed belt is, well, okay, high-speed to use a redundant term. Alright, let's throw together a few warpers and go on some exploration. One of the many problems in producing a warper, it seems, is we've got to produce strange matter. That's fine, but the strange matter can only be produced in a particle collider. You can't actually produce it on yourself, unfortunate. That's a pity. However, to produce that, you're also going to need this miniature particle collider thingy. This miniature particle collider thingy requires frame material, and frame material requires carbon nanotubes. So to make the carbon nanotubes, you actually need a chemical facility. You can't make it on yourself. So we have to make a bunch of carbon nanotubes so we can make the building that allows us to make the warper. Right. Just a perfectly normal day in Dyson Sphere. Normal as all hell. And there is our weird, almost saucer-looking thing producing away. This is going to produce us the strange matter, which we can then turn into warpers. We are just putting together a little hodgepodge one. Storage container. We chuck in a few of these particle containers. Oh, I should probably throw in some more iron plate as well. Oh, damn it, forgot the iron plate. Done. Whole thing is firing up. We're going to dump in a few more of these. Oh, wait, wrong box. That's the exit box. That should make us plenty of strange matter. Now we can make some warpers. Probably. I'm about to find out. I had to go pick up a few diamonds, but yes, we can finally make warpers. So that's... yeah, perfect. Time to go traveling and see what else we can find around here. We have a large inventory full of space warpers. Well, okay, maybe not a huge amount of them, but we've got enough that I just want to go see what's out there. Let's go for a little bit of space exploration. We're going to have to pick a nearby star system and decide where we want to go, though. I think we'll take a short jaunt for our first trip. This here is, well, our local universe. Let's just see what we've got. What's some good planets nearby? Ooh, is it a nice blue one? That one is 5 light years distance, requires drive engine 4. Maybe we can't get it. Okay, that one there, K-type star. This one looks like it might be worthwhile. Looks like Lasath is going to be our first choice then. Alright, where are you, Lasath? We have Lasath dead ahead. Now we don't want to accelerate. What we need to do is hit caps lock for drive engine. Ooh. Let's see if that does anything. The drive engine's not high enough to turn on. Wait, the drive engine level is not high enough to turn on the warp. God damn it. They're right. Drive engine level 4 is required. So this requires Mecha Core level 4, which requires purple research. God damn it. We need 500 though. Let's go grab that really quick. In fact, while we're at it, we might as well get Universe X. Actually, no. I just want the Mecha Core. I want to explore it myself. We'll enqueue that afterwards, and then we're going to need the drive engine after that. Alright, Purple Science, let's knock you out real quick. First thing we're going to do, we're going to stop back here at our little transport section. We've grabbed ourselves 5 of the planetary logistics and a couple of 100 logistics drones. Then the next thing up to do is find the oil. I believe we have 3 crude oil seeps somewhere close together that I haven't... Ah, there one. We're going to tap into all 3 of those right there. We're going to tap into all 3 of these oil wells and feed them into one of our little planetary towers. Because that makes life so much easier. That way we don't have to worry about running belts anywhere. We just dump it all into that and we're done. And hook this up to some power, of course. That was so quick to set up. All 3 of those are now connected up to the tower in the center. We've selected oil. We've stuck in 50 logistics drones. And then all we have to do is hook up power. Done. Then all the crude oil will flow into the center from all of them. It collects in here. And then we can demand this crude oil elsewhere, where we're going to set up our, well, our refinery system, aren't we? This slot here is where we're going to produce our, well, this lot is where we're going to produce our new science packs. We're going to aim for about 60 a minute. We want it small, light, easy to do because, well, we want to just go to space. So quick and simple is going to be the plan. Over here, we're just going to select crude oil. Nope, not supply. We are going to demand. There goes our logistics drone off to the local oil refinery to pick up the resources. Now, we probably could have run... I think it's just... Yeah, that's actually right next door, isn't it? Yeah, okay, so that was maybe a little bit closer than we needed, but that's fine. That's... Oh my god, my laziness. Okay, let's start this out. We'll first of all put down the oil refineries. This is going to be my very simple, stupid, boring oil design. Crude oil goes in on the inside line. Light oil goes out in the middle line, and hydrogen goes out on the far end. We'll just burn off the hydrogen. Yeah, after going to all the effort of getting that hydrogen from the gas giant, we're just going to burn this stuff off. We don't really need it. And that should be... Yeah, that's just the guts of that. Let's start this flowing, shall we? Alright, oil flows, then we just need some power, and we're golden. Alright, so we'll put one of you right about there, and one there, and one there. Done. We can also extend this on, and I'm not going to care too much about how neat that is, and finished. We just need to put in a few of these inserters and, well, ins and outs. To make some plastic to go with this, we're going to need some refined carbon, and we're not going to faff about with any transport belts, even if it is this close by. We're going full logistics here. So we'll just, yeah, tap into this, turn it into some refined carbon, and then ship it over there with a tower right next door. Done. Coal tapped into. Energetic graphite will be the final product. Just stick in a few of these to the ends of it and power up that. And done. Oh, I might want to put some recipes on these. Only thing missing now is we need to put in some transport shuttles. That was it. There we go. Done. And energetic graphene is now on our transport grid. Or whatever you call that grid. Alright. Next up, I think we're going to throw down some plastic. Actually, no, let's chuck in the rest of the resources we're going to need. We're going to need copper, iron, a few others. Yeah, let's just have a collection montage. And there we go. Stone all set up. Planetary logistics fed in. Iron ore. Now, we're not going to refine it before we put it in because iron ore actually has some uses outside of just being turned straight into iron plate. So, done. Quick copper mine. Plugs straight into copper plate. And then goes right into planetary logistics again. Now, what are we missing? After realizing I was going to need some iron plate, I decided, well, I was going to just smelt the iron plate on site, but then I thought, wait a minute, why not take this, run it into this in case we need it. If we don't, it runs out the other side and we turn it into iron plate. That way it's sort of, we keep both on the system if we really need them. It's going to cost us power, but power is, yeah, power's fine. I thickened up the power belt, so there's actually 2 rows to it now. If needs be, we can add on a third. I just rather not do it right now because it takes a lot of time. Alright, let's just throw in a quick set of iron smelting right here. And there's the last building block we should need. No, who am I kidding? I've probably forgotten something. But that will provide power to, well, that will provide us with the iron plate we need to get the last of this done. That's got Yep, 50 logistics drones in there. This is a really handy system. I like it. You're just able to patch things together really quickly. Though, oh, yeah, we should be maybe a little bit faster. Okay, let's get back to the actual main build. We're not going to go too modular with this. We're just going to bring in the raw resources and produce what we need just to get about 60 to 80 science. Over here, we are going to demand in the raw resource we need, which is rocks. Yep, stone. And that should be requested, and our ships should go out and pick it up. Well, they will once we set it to demand. There we go. Off you go, my pretties. Fly and bring us back some stone. Right, the stone will get fed in there, and that will give us our sulfuric acid. The only other thing we need this oil for over this side is... oh, what was it? Ah, yes, graphene. Wait, no. That's the sulfuric acid. No, we need the oil for plastic. Now is it plastic? I think we'll do the plastic out this side. There's no need to get too fancy about this. That will rip the oil from the bus and we'll be down to sulfuric acid then in plastic. Believe it or not, this can be expanded a decent amount. What we're sort of doing here is the oil comes down and spits off left and right here. The right makes the sulfuric acid that we need, and the left, from where we're facing right now, makes the plastic. And this can be extended so the graphene comes in one side, the oil comes in the other, and the plastic's jammed in the middle, and we spit out the plastic onto this belt. And this graphene just continues right on down here, where it passes by right with the sulfuric acid we've been making on this side. When the sulfuric acid and the graphene are combined to make us or energetic graphene are combined to make us or energetic graphite are combined to make us our graphene. So these little systems here are pulling from this side. So theoretically we'd extend on the sulfuric acid this direction, and we could extend on the graphene, and we could also extend on the plastic if needs be. Well, depending on... well, until we run into the towers, of course. I placed them in awkward positions because of course I did. But that means we could easily double this up quite handily if we want to. Now that's produced us, well, the resources we wanted, which were the graphene and the plastic, which we need to make the science. To modify the graphene, we have to turn it into, was it carbon nanotube? So we just simply shunt it across into these machines right beside it. We just... I'm not exactly sure what kind of bus you describe this as, but it seems to be more of it sort of comes in the middle and goes left to right. And then we're going to branch all these central products that we've produced into the middle to just do the final product. Right now we've got the plastic and we've got the graphene nanotubes or whatever they're called. All we need now to finish off one section of this and get the sort of particle fibers, one second actually, we're trying to produce this end of it, the particle broadband. That requires these carbon nanotubes. Those carbon nanotubes are right there. The other thing it requires is plastic, which is right there. We're bringing it over from this side. That means the only thing left is the crystal silicon, and all we need is high purity silicon for that, and we do have high purity silicon already on the planet, so all we gotta do is stick in another one of these transport towers, which, okay, we have way too many already. Let's just stick one right there, then we'll run a line out of this, and that will be our third and the final piece we need for this. Wait, change my mind on that one. I realized I should be doing this the other way, where I sort of bring it in, smelt it, put it into another tower, and then pop it out the other side. So we'll put in a quick smelting column here, or to turn those the high purity silicon, we want to turn it into this crystal silicon. This just makes things so much handier. We call in the silicone, it gets silicon cone, whatever you want to call it. Then it gets refined, then we dump it into this where it's now available to the rest of the grid. I'm not going to actually dump in the ships, otherwise I'd have to make another round trip to our supply depot. And that brings it over here, and we have all three ingredients ready to churn out the fiber optic cable. So, yeah, it just makes life so much simpler the way they've done this. All we have to do is put in a few of these. How many of these are we going to need? About 10, I suppose. So, you know what? We're going to make this one not too clean. I am not exactly sure what happened here, but I basically took all of these, took a big right instead of going straight on the bus, and then they're all down here. The way I figured is if we extend, say, any of these on and increase the size of anything, we can actually keep extending this on further without messing with this lengthwise version. But that's the particle broadband part of this whole thing done. That was... okay, it wasn't super painless, but that was not that hard now that we've got those transport towers. They make things so much faster. Alright, with particle broadband done, that only leaves... well, processors. Processors basically just require some circuit boards, which is copper and iron. We've got that. And then we need microcrystalline components, which requires, oh look, copper and silicon, which we've already got. Nice. In fact, we'll just branch it off here and run it parallel to these suckers. Might as well. And there, just lots of placing stuff. This here, let me try and explain. This here is where we put in those little microprocessors, the blue ones. So blue chips, microcrystalline components. All we had to do is bring in the silicon, which we grabbed from this side. So the silicon came over here and went down right through the center here, along with copper we summoned in from elsewhere. The two of those combined gives us our blue chips. They go out on the outside and go all the way down here to the end. The green chips, or the green circuits, were, well, pretty easy as well. All we did was we called in some iron to go with that copper, and there you go, green circuits on the outside. So once we combine those green circuits and the blue circuits, we'll get ourselves our components, which we can combine with this to give ourselves our science. This should be fairly quick. Brutally straightforward. We just have the two different types of chips come down this side, get fed into these, and processors come out the other. Now we've got the two main components needed to make the science, and I'm going to do something I probably should have figured out a long time ago. We're just going to take all of these resources and feed them into one of these towers. We can say dump them in here, and say, where is it? Fiber optic cable. Yep, there we go. And we can also put in processors. There we go. Put them in as supply, and they will get fed onto the grid, and we don't have to build any more towers. I was kind of building a lot of towers there. Maybe I should have used a few of these a little bit more. Now, can you actually put in 3 each side? Can you? Oh, damn it. Okay, fine. We'll go around that direction. It's okay. And done. That should feed in the processors as well. Now we have those on the grid. Perfect. Now all we have to do is get back to our science labs, put down one tower, summon in both of those resources, and feed them into a science production facility. Where's our science labs? Oh, I believe they're over there. Well, we probably should just run them across. Yeah, but that's pretty quick. We can dump them in fairly fast. Oh no, we want landfill. Give me 2 seconds here. I got this. We throw down a nice big stack of labs right there. All we're going to do is produce the resources in there, and then we're going to run them out. And right down here to our science consumption facilities. We totally have overbuilt those, but that's never not a problem. And then all we do is we put down one tower right here. That tower, we're going to summon in the raw resources that we just went to all the trouble of producing, which is, yep, that cable, and we're also going to want processors. That's it. We're going to put you on demand, and oh wait, I don't have any ships. Oh yeah, I'll get around to that in a minute, but I think there will be some delivered anyway. Now, we will, oh, and we should probably provide that with power. That would be an idea. There we go. Then we just run the resources over here. Oh wow, that was just... God damn, they've done a good job with this. They just made it so convenient that it doesn't even feel... After a while, you just get so used to it. Right. And we just stick in power. Done. Oh, no. Don't have power this side either. Done. Then we just put the outputs the other side. And how long before... Oh, there's their first piece of purple science. Excellent. Now we can actually get started on that. And what was the plan? Ah, yes, we wanted to go to space. That was it. Give me 1 second here while we just wait until this research catches up. Oh, no. Last piece, of course. The last piece. We do that, and one there. Done. And with the last of that science completed, it's time for Drive Engine Level 4. Hells yeah. Do you know what that means? To steal some great...
The ability to warp.
Yeah, that's great. It will consume a great amount of energy and an additional space warper. If you want to travel freely, you need to prepare sufficient energy. We have a bunch of fuel rods. We also have a bunch of Deuterium fuel rods, which they can sit in 600 megajoules as opposed to the 40 of the hydrogen ones we've been using. Doesn't matter. All I know is I'm going to steal some great words. What was it? I feel the need for expeditious velocity. Yep, there we go. Yep, that feels like expeditious velocity, alright. Now, do we hold this down and then release it, or... I'm not even sure. Okay, we're burning through the energy, but not at a ferocious rate. Okay, let's that... Oh, we have to... Oh, wow, we do actually have to navigate while we're doing this. Okay, then. Oh, we can even see the planets. We're getting close enough. Do we drop out? Oh, how do we stop? Okay. Perfect, figured it out. Right. That was awesome. We got to recharge up. I think the regular hydrogen fuel cells we brought are not going to be up to the challenge. Let's chuck in the Deuterium and see what it does. No, still pretty weak sauce. I was expecting this to charge us up an awful lot faster. Be that as it may, we are going to get to those planets. We have plenty of warpers left and plenty of juice. So let's just... Yeah, so you tap it once to engage. And yeah, then we immediately run out of power. Right, got it, I understand. Despite our distance out, we can actually see what's in here. Let's check the sun. We can see they've got fire ice, which, yes, we'll take it. Fractal silicone, yes. Kimberlite ore, more fire. Right, they've got special resources here, that's great. The only thing they're missing is a lake of sulfur. That would have been beautiful, but it's fine. It's just our first exploration. But I am, of course, miles out of time. I went way over on this. Time warp, maybe a little bit on this one. Anyway, I think next up, we're going to go and explore a whole bunch of planets. I just want to see everything that's around and available so that we can put down just a plant for producing warpers so that we can warp our ships everywhere we want and set up a more... and then find ourselves a really nice planet where we're going to set up an enormous facility. That's pretty much the plan. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed our exploration so far and good luck.